Angwy's story really harkens back to a time when World of Warcraft was just much more social. And I think players really crave that kind of freedom to write their own legacy, and that's why Angwy's story has endured.
I don't know. I don't think that game exists anymore. The gaming culture has changed so much that I don't know that you'd even be able to recreate the same thing again.
The best part about World of Warcraft to me was always the people. The community changed.
I beat the game. I made friends. That's really what MMOs like should be. That's what they are about. And if your MMO's not about that, then your MMO sucks. That's really all there is to it.
I think that's where a lot of the really good player stories come from, is that player interaction, and it's something that's mostly gone from games currently. And I think World of Warcraft was kind of the start of that. After I quit, I missed it a lot. Like I was like, this was a lot of fun. I could see doing it again. I'm kind of looking forward to, killing people.
People start freaking out. Worry turned into panic.
I made a mistake, and I got stuck over there.
You went to Menethil Harbor, you were corpse walking.
What is going on? This is supposed to just be a video game.
I wanted that notoriety. I wanted to be feared.
I don't know how you would go about even finding someone who is essentially a myth.
We finally tracked down one member of this mysterious group.
There he is, he lives and breathes.
He was this absolutely normal dude, living a normal life, and his goals were beyond your understanding.
Hang in there, big guy.
If it wasn't for him, I would have died. Out in the black, you never can truly trust the people you fly beside.
Are you 40,000 light years from home? Don't panic.
The Sims was the ultimate icebreaker.
I don't mind dying if it means saving people's lives. And if I can do it being such a dramatic bitch, I'm gonna do it.
I still got 4 magazines. Do we want to go back?
Buenas, buenas. A ver, ¿qué onda, loco? ¿Qué haces, don Vicenchi? A ver qué onda estos videojuegos nuevos. Espero que hablen un poquito. El único que estoy nerdeando es Baldur's Gate 3, loco. Quiero mis RPGs. A ver, un minuto. Sí, señor, todo viendo. Muchos juegos, loco. Minecraft 2. Bloodborne para PC. No sé yo, no creo. A ver. ¿Qué es el set? Básicamente está diciendo que ya arranca la wea, tenemos nuevos juegos, trailer, bla 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 bla. It's Morvin time, dijo, y ahora arranca la countdown. A ver el Morvin time, viejo. Capaz que anuncian un videojuego de Morbius. Capaz que ponen Morbius en alguno de los 40 juegos que están anunciando de Marvel. A ver, ¿qué quiero ver yo acá? Algo más del Elite Dangerous, por favor. También. Así lo vuelvo a jugar, tengo una excusa para volver. personaje roto se aparece. Sí, Instabuy, loco. ¿Qué haces, Vale, querida? Quiero una PC así, toda con coolers, luces y colores. Todo bien, se re gritaban, estaban todos re hypeados, chabón. Dale, ¿quién te conoce? Ponés juego. Buah, se re quejaba. ¿De dónde lo conozco al chabón este?
While we may look like elaborate Unreal Engine renders, we are here in the flesh, as is the hardware, bringing
¡Me alegro!
the best and brightest in the world of PC.
Mirá, hay un gasto ahí atrás. Referencia a Minecraft. Minecraft 2 confirmado.
Of killer upcoming PC games through world premieres, exclusive interviews, and a few surprises along the way. And you, the folks at home, might even be able to win yourself a
Qué linda PC, amigo.
And now you may remember the last time you saw me on this show, things ended quite literally explosively.
Yeah.
There was a robot who tried to destroy the human race, electrocuted me. I think I died.
What?
Either way,
Minecraft 8.
Sure. It was standard robot apocalyptic stuff, just minus the overbearing.
No sé, ¿le anunciaron algún Minecraft en... Se me escapó la mayor. Anunciaron algún Minecraft en la de Xbox hace un ratito, pero no es Minecraft 2, es alguno de esos juegos raros. La estaba viendo, pero no llegué a la parte de Minecraft. Lowe me dijo.
But I played Cyberpunk 2077 and he's not.
Ooh, that's pretty dark for the start of the show.
Or nostalgic.
Aww.
But none of that matters because the show actually took place in a parallel reality.
Alright, so you're telling me there's actually a multiverse?
According to the writers who...
Como el Dungeons. Ah, una poronga entonces. Bueno, el Dungeon estaba ok, ponele, pero... No, yo quedé en la parte donde estaba mostrando todo lo del Forza Motorsport. Que se ve lindo, pero es Forza Motorsport.
Gaming by putting the spotlight on something near and dear to our hearts. PC gaming.
And so without any further
Arrancá, por favor.
time for my favorite part.
Yes. Más 17, listo, Dombe, andate. ¿Me puedo subir más? Final Fantasy, dijo Chaos. Ah, este juego lo vi, es como un Born game que vas ahí subiendo. ¿Qué haces, Daimon? Es un Soulsborne. Este juego lo vi el año pasado, creo. Mi amor.
Bueno, vamos a jugar.
Apa, Cube World. ¿Server de Cube World? ¿Cuándo? Fanboy Cloud. Caga la conferencia. Es verdad, voy a sacar el chat por ahora. Pará. No hace falta que estén ustedes ahí. A la verga. El Solstice. Solsticio. Ok, bueno, una poronga. Trataba mal todo. Una poronga. El juego este, sigamos, por favor, siguiente. Nah, mentira. Capaz que está bueno. Registro nuevo para Early Access PC Demo en solsticegame.com. Si les interesó y se quieren registrar ahora para Early PC Demo Access, solsticegame.com. Muchas gracias. Ok, Clay son los del Don't Starve. Y el Oxygen Not Included. Esta gente sabe hacer juegos, veamos qué están haciendo. No jugué al Oxygen. Lo bajé como 3 veces. Rotwood. Early Access 2020. No saben. No saben cuándo sale el Early Access. Esto es Shadowrun. O algo. No, no es Shadowrun, son magos. Magos tácticos, vieja. Mom, can we have XCOM? Ok, juego por turnos de magos que entran a bases militares a robar cosas. Interesante, si le podés poner nombre a la gente puede ser interesante. Ahí están Don Below, mirá. Wiscom. Buenas, buenas, Rotten. Ah, te cambiaste nombre acá al fin, así te reconozco. Tactical Bridge Wizards. No estabas muy lejos con Wiscom. Tactical Bridge Wizards. Parece el XCOM, el nuevo, el que sacaron. ¿Cómo se llamaba? No sé qué, Squad o algo así. El que era como un minijuego. Que también tenían que entrar por una puerta y cagar a tiro. Elite Squad, no. Quimera Squad. Creo.
Dead body.
Dale, no hagas chistecito.
Next, we have a solution to the age-old problem of not having time to read and play video games. Just do both at the same time, obviously. Star Wars Industries has you covered with their sci-fi thriller inspired by Stanislaw Lem's
Star Wars.
The Invincible. So here's your first look at the first ever gameplay footage.
La vaca se fue de vacaciones, más o menos. Abra cadáver, dijo, básicamente.
What have you done?
Where are you taking me?
You came here yourself. So what are you expecting, huh?
You've set up a field camp.
No sé absolutamente nada de Star Wars, así que todos estos juegos me pasan re por encima. ¿Dónde está Neutral cuando lo necesitas? The Invincible. Ah, no es Star Wars. No es Star Wars, es Star Wars. Bueno, nada, entonces no es Star Wars. Casi igual. A ver en qué planeta nos toca sobrevivir ahora. Che, se ve lindo el Starlink, Star Lord. Star algo de Bethesda. No dijeron si tenía online, creo, ahí en el tráiler ese. No creo, son RPGs. El Stardew Valley by Bethesda.
I located the mobile antimatter cannon.
Another one.
Me encanta que le quieran poner realismo metiéndote cosas en la cara como si vos vieras el microfonito ese cuando tenés el casco puesto. En todo el ojo lo tenías al microfonito.
Wait, someone's here.
No, no soy yo, estoy viendo un stream de juegos que se vienen el año este y el que viene. Y el que viene. Todos anuncios nuevos. Está jugando zombies.
I was counting on this meeting very much. At worst, it could have been another abandoned place, but not this.
But what exactly?
That's a good question. I'm getting into the recorder.
Ay, se perdieron la oportunidad de poner el sonido ese de la puerta que ponen siempre.
What do we have here? Uh-huh. They made their way through with a beam of antimatter.
How subtle. Did you locate this passage?
I'm looking at it now. They pierced a hole several meters in diameter and several dozen meters long.
Yasna, do you hear me?
Yes. My head feels like it's bursting from pressure.
No creo que nunca agarremos una aquí nosotros. ¿Qué tengo que tener? Steam abierto listo ahí.
Yes.
Steam abierto listo con el reclamar llave.
Actually, there's nothing here that I haven't seen before. There are a lot of metal bushes that were near our camp.
Arbustos de metal.
Parts of the bushes are, how to put it, fruitless.
So they came to pick the fruits.
Además, viendo el stream acá ya tienen como 5 segundos de delay. Mínimo.
What task?
This is one of the robots carrying containers with research material. It took the container, but never left that place.
Why do you think it's stuck?
Well, it's
Así que
going in
fuera.
circles using the same path. The robot's gone.
Ok, bueno, ya entendimos, loco. Poneme la acción. Poneme los tiros, vos.
But I didn't.
No, he must have done something. Never mind. Follow it.
Estoy viendo una película de Kubrick.
Fuck. It's getting up.
What, a robot?
No, antimat.
Come on, Yasna. Run. Hide. Yasna, are you alive?
Yes, it's fucked up the robot.
What's it doing now?
Fucking me up. Ok.
Take care of our people, Novik.
Interesante not. No sé, no terminé sin entender qué es. Tengo que caminar y explorar.
At the nearest dungeon to prove that chivalry isn't dead. And if you think I emphasize those words weirdly, you're right. And it'll all make sense momentarily when you see these next 4 games.
Pit Stop Dungeon.
You hear from our friends at Tripwire Interactive. Roll that beautiful footage.
Ese fue el ruido de Xbox.
Nah, you don't have what it takes. You'll be back here too scared to try again. Cause the dungeon will turn you into lunch meat. Unless you're way tougher than you look. We got the guns, the turrets, the upgrades.
Overwatch 2 confirmado al fin.
All we need is guts and skills. Grab your posse and
Literal. Ah, es un Tower Defense. De los chabones de Endless Dungeon.
be the first to play.
Capaz que está bueno.
To die. To give your feedback. Do you have what it takes?
No, no jugué lo... Bueno, sí, jugué la versión que salió del Overwatch 2 en 2016, por ahí. Esa versión jugué. Ok, nuevo Endless Dungeon. Este va a ser el Fórmula 1 Manager que ya vimos ayer en algún momento, no sé en qué momento, pero ya lo vi. Juego donde controlás al que controla el auto. Autismo. Overwatch 2 sale en octubre, anunciaron recién también.
Choose your team and drive every decision that leads to you making your mark on the grid and hopefully the podium.
Capaz que pueda hacer un server de eso, medio rapidito, ¿no, Dombi?
On and off the track. During races, you'll mastermind strategy, plan tire stints for each driver, and make changes on the fly when necessary.
Te he puesto que se viene, no tengo ni idea. Capaz que más tarde hago un stream de algo.
Tire wear and battery usage, or even to avoid battling a teammate. All while reacting to dynamic events like race incidents and fluctuating weather.
No sé cómo se hace. Yo había hecho una vuelta, pero fue hace 6 años más o menos.
Detail of your team from your state-of-the-art headquarters. Hire best-in-class staff to work across your aerodynamics and engineering teams and put them to the task.
Este juego yo entiendo que tenga una demográfica a la que les gustan los simuladores de este tipo, pero realmente no entiendo, boludo. Anda a estudiar ingeniería si querés jugar a esto. Anda a estudiar ingeniería y convertirte en manager de verdad de un auto.
From the finer details of how car parts affect overall performance, to a track's expected grip level, to the condition of your wind tunnel. How you analyze the data and choose to spend your resources
Es rarísimo.
or break your progress. You'll find depth and detail in abundance, even down to real-world team radio messages between drivers and engineers, and race commentary from David Croft and Karun Chandler.
Le das la orden de pasármela, le decís pasalo, y ahí va el chabón y lo pasa.
New car design with real trackside and onboard camera angles. Sleek management menus and intuitive controls will drive the immersive F1 fantasy home as you plan and execute the perfect strategy in F1 Manager 2022.
You wouldn't get it. Prefiero jugar al Euro Track Simulator, que por lo menos manejás vos el camión. Igual que los de fútbol, Football Manager. Aquí no entiendo, ¿qué quiere comprar y vender el chabón? Opa, Chivalry, perdón, mala pronunciación. ¿Qué onda con este juego? No escuché nada bueno. Nada, no escuché. El Chivalry 1 estaba bueno y después salió el Mordhau, pero también salió hace 2 años ese, creo. Ok, caballos. Era divertido este tipo de juego, pero había gente que se volvía re tryhard. Ya estoy viendo todos los caballos bugueados parados ahí en el medio del combate.
Donacia rises from the south.
Tratando de correr con el caballo y que no termine de empezar a correr, viste, arranque y se quede trabado ahí contra una persona cada 2 segundos. Ahí pusieron el grito, el Wilhelm. ¡Ah! Este juego me da ganas de jugar al ¿cómo se llama? El Mountain Blade ese. Ese grito está en todos lados, boludo. Para mí ya lo ponen como meme a esta altura, porque nadie puede seriamente ver eso y decir, bueno, pongamos el Wilhelm Scream acá. Va a quedar bueno. No, debe ser tipo, a ver dónde lo podemos meter. Y que quede bien. Ok, la Tenosian Invasion.
Hi everyone, I'm Phil from Sweet Bandits, live from Quebec City. Really glad to be here today for the PC gaming show. We'll be showing the first trailer of our
Está muy contento.
It's a multiplayer competitive spy game.
Multiplayer competitivo de espionaje.
Gadgets and powerful spy abilities to try and get the upper hand. We've had the chance of working with Tripwire Presents on the project, so this is only the beginning. Please follow us on social media at Play Deceiving to learn more. We'll be releasing the game in early 2023 on PC, Xbox Series S and X, and PS5. Thank you so much, and let's enjoy the trailer.
Good afternoon, agents. Your mission is simple. Infiltrate.
Es como el que jugamos de
and retrieve the blueprint of
Just Act Natural.
Deceiving's company policy is to deploy multiple agents to ensure the mission's success.
Es el Among Us, loco.
Get the paycheck. Do whatever it takes, agent, and be careful out there.
Try your best. Let's see if it's enough. Booyah! Ka-ching! Oh, come on. They can't be this fast.
And they thought it was secure. In the end, I am victorious.
They're really not gonna make it easy for me. Gotcha.
Is that it?
Right on target. Outskilled and outgunned.
It can't end like this.
El grito ese fue de Metal Slug, ¿o no, boludo? ¡Ah!
Moving to rendezvous point. All done.
Escuché un Metal Slug ahí.
Really? Mission complete.
Este es el juego anti-streamer, porque yo no puedo streamear esto. Sí, estoy jugando con gente del stream. Van a saber todos que soy una puta planta. Ahí estoy, mirá.
Let me ask you something.
Dead on Arrival ese juego, salvo que sea gratis.
I mean, mine personally involves a flight of unicorns and a Valkyrie army on Pegasuses, but you know yours may.
¿Cómo adelanto el stream?
Somehow I doubt it.
Sí, literal, online de los Assassin's Creed.
At iBuyPower to bring a very different dream to life. My dream PC room. Unfortunately, there's bad news for me. I don't get to keep it. But very good news for one of you. We're going to be giving the entire contents of this room away to a lucky winner watching the show. So let's dive in and see what's up for grabs. The beating heart of any PC gaming dream room is.
Ok, van a vendernos un poquito la PC acá.
As you can see, the mad geniuses at iBuyPower have built an absolute doozy. The first thing you'll notice is that Height Y60 case with its wraparound tempered glass panels. This thing is built from the ground up to display the sickest PC tech you can squeeze into a desktop machine. And let's face it, if you've managed to bag a serious graphics card in these dry times, you owe it to the silicon gods to show it off properly. Okay, the case and lighting looks dope, but for this to be a true dream PC, we need more than just state of the
Qué bonita.
Luckily, the substance matches the style. So let's check out the guts of our dream PC, and trust me, there's plenty of power crammed in. The big question though is what pixel pusher iBuyPower has used, and you won't be disappointed with an overclocked RTX 3090 from Gigabyte, right? This 24GB monster of a GPU packs the cooling to stay chill and the power to smash through any game you throw at it. The graphics card is the rig's MVP, but any superstar needs some dope backup, and the fastest gaming CPU around, the Intel 5.5GHz Core i9 12900KS with 32GB of DDR5 RAM and 2TB of seriously fast SSD storage, both from ADATA, makes up the perfect support team. Whew, that is a whole lot of pieces.
Ya me dio una erección, ya vengo, voy al baño.
What about the peripherals? Well, animal lovers, we got you.
Yo solo quiero la estatuita de Mercy, ¿la regalan a esa también? Viene con la habitación.
With a 30-hour battery life and competition grade 2.4GHz connection. And you noisy typers are going to love the clicky-clacky mechanical keyboard that comes with it. Oh, I'm sorry, what was that? RGB? Well, of course! The keyboard and mouse both light up like Atlantic City on a Saturday night. And yeah, you can turn it off so you can actually get some sleep. You can find out more about this gear feature.
La gente sigue queriendo RGB, vieja. A mí ya me aburrió, ya pagué todo yo.
The info on how to win this beastly setup. So here are the details.
Igual están buenos los panales eso del fondo, loco. Me presumen la PC Gamer. Inscribite en el sorteo. pcgamer.com/DreamPC y ganá. Si vivís en Estados Unidos.
Also comes with some very swish monitors as well as the eligibility rules. Good luck, gamers.
That is right.
Ahí están las famosas eligibility rules.
Dream PC for your chance to win. But for now, let's get back to the games.
Por favor, gracias.
Interactive and A44 Games comes Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn, an action RPG from the team behind Ashen, where gods and guns collide.
En Discord, papu, están los comandos. Esto no es un stream de Minecraft, esto es un stream de, ya te digo, pará. De los dioses saliendo del Great Below.
they unleashed a pestilence on our world. No one yet knows if
Claro que aparece, hijo de puta, si lo escribí todo yo.
for one intend to find out.
Elden Ring DLC, mira. ¿Qué es esta Happy, loco? Parece el Assassin's Creed, pero raro. Con poderes. Tenés un gato. Tenés un gatito. ¿Qué haces, Matpon? Listo, tiene araña, no lo juego. Flintlock. Ok, ¿quién hace esto? Kepler. ¿Quiénes son esta gente? Alto gato, mira.
Hey PC Gaming Show, I'm Derek Bradley, the CEO of A44 Games and creative director of Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. Flintlock is set in a world ruled by old gods, and so as humanity, you now have the power of black powder and bombs and flintlock rifles to finally overthrow the gods and take
Parece zorro. Es un hipogrifo o alguna de esas weas. Tiene pata de pollo. Sí, tiene una venganza contra los dioses, dice. Fox-like, sí, dijo como un zorro. Está parado ahí mientras lo cagan a tiro.
We can't wait to show you more of Flintlock before its release next year. Head over to our socials for more info and don't forget to wishlist now on Steam.
Ok, capaz que zafa. Si no hay nada en ese mes entero, capaz que está jugable.
A mysterious new sci-fi game from 11-Bit Studios, the creators of This War of Mine. Hear all about it in our exclusive interview.
Nuevo juego de los creadores de This World of Mine, el juego más depresivo de la historia.
Plus, if you look back on high school and think, you know, those 4 years would have been better if I was fighting little
Ahí está, Super People.
you're definitely going to want to study up on our next world exclusive independent game
Upa, ¿y esto?
inspired by the Persona series.
Parece el Castlevania, loco, 2D y
Now,
3D.
There is so much more PC gaming show coming your way. Before we go, the folks at Compass Data Centers have a little quiz for you.
No, deja de hacerme publicidades, amigo.
Compared to current 4G networks. Scan this QR code and answer the question for a chance to win $500 worth of stuff from Razer, or visit gaming.compassdatacenters.com.
$500 de cosa de Razer es un auricular, me parece, a los precios que tiene Razer.
Ready to game the system? Meet Mana. You slay.
Deja de darme publicidades, hijo de puta. Don't care, Bloodborne. Gente pidiendo Bloodborne hace décadas, literalmente. Estoy viendo si hay brazucas acá. Morzona 5, el mejor juego. Hay unos rusos acá, mira.
So I know what you're thinking, and the answer is yes. It's time to talk about the
Un mousepad sin luces. $470. A ver, loco, ¿jugaron This War of Mine? Un juego totalmente depresivo, loco. Ah, hicieron el Frostpunk también. Otro depresivo.
The altar sends us to the deepest, darkest reaches of space, in a survival story that is guaranteed to give you an existential crisis, in a good way. This is a really big moment for this year's show. I can't wait. Let's take a look.
A ver, el nuevo juego de esta gente. Ojo, un Real 5. Literalmente lo estoy viendo al comando en Discord, Gonza. Literal lo estoy viendo en este momento con mis ojos y vos me decís que no aparece. Ah, parece un clon. Todos son clones. De Pedro Pascal. ¿Qué es esto, viejo? Se murió, entonces crearon uno nuevo, se despertó uno nuevo. ¿Pero qué es? What the fuck? Yo shitposteando con toda mi sal. Alters. Y es una rueda que se va moviendo por el espacio. Altiers. Ok, interesado estoy al menos. Es como una rueda que se va moviendo. A ver, va a hablar del juego, chicos, presten atención. Presten atención en inglés.
Okay, there is a lot to unpack there. We got clones, we got this huge wheel. Tell us, what did we just see?
Well, first of all, these guys were not exactly the clones. We saw Jan, our main character, who's traveling with a group of the alters, who are the alternative versions of the same person. And they are going through this distant alien planet in their mobile base, which was the wheel you saw at the end. So what's the
Esa rueda llega a pinchar y ¿quién cambia la goma esa?
So you are a space builder stranded on this distant planet, and your goal is to survive and find a way back home. But the thing is, in order to do so, you need to create those alters, as each one of them have different set of skills and character traits. So these are things necessary for your survival and finding a way back home.
Clones con distintos skills y tratando de volver de regreso a tu casita.
A thriller, a mystery. What should players expect?
Actually, there are bits of everything you mentioned. Like, there is this mystery as we're looking deep into the soul of the character. But what you find there can also be pretty scary, so there are those beats of psychological horror and drama. But then on top of it, we have this quite thick layer of surreality. I mean, how surreal would it be to one day, you know, wake up next to a little different alternative version of your very self?
Now, there's a quote that you shared with me earlier, that man cannot remake himself
Me lo garcho.
suffering, for he is both the marble and the sculptor.
Si me encuentro un clon mío.
So this
Papacito rico.
relates directly to the main theme of our game. We as people, we are shaping ourselves every single day with every single decision that we are making. This process, the whole process of becoming who we are, it can be quite painful at times. But in our game, Jan, the main character, he has this unique possibility of not only shaping himself, but also
Se ve interesante, loco, aunque no sé cómo va a ser el gameplay.
every single altar that he is
Seguro creando ahí contenedores y mandando
Sci-fi story, something
píxeles.
like Bradbury work, or is it something more contemporary?
Well, it is very classic sci-fi in a way that we are taking a relatable topic and we are using the sci-fi theme, we are using the sci-fi setting to look at it through
Muchas gracias, Gonza.
lenses.
But then when we're
thank
choosing the
you.
tools, this is a very contemporary game, and we're taking advantage of what video games are as a medium. So we're using tools like systematic design and non-linearity in order to put the players in the middle of the experience, and in the end allow them to create their own stories inside the game.
I wanted to ask a little bit about the relationship of your previous titles to the alters, whether there's any narrative or themes or even just influence that those games.
El Children of Morta estuvo medio choto, la verdad, para mí.
Purely 100% our game, 11-bit Studios game, and it's created in line with our meaningful entertainment philosophy. So it's a game we hope that it will make you think even after you stop playing it. This War of Mine was this first huge milestone. It paved the way for all the future titles. And with Frostpunk, it was taken to another level with the strong focus on the emergent narrative. And now with the Alters, we want to follow that path, but we also really want to push the boundaries even further and expand on how we approach meaningful topics inside the design of our games.
Thanks so much again to Tomas.
Se ve bueno, loco. ¿Qué crees que te diga? No sé, me intrigó. Quiero ver un poco de gameplay, pero llega a ser un Colony Sim, digamos, y me pego un tiro.
Thanks, Day9. Honestly, I need to look into getting myself cloned so I can make time to play all of these awesome games we've seen so far. But I'm also legitimately worried about having to eventually fight my clone in single hand-to-hand combat when they steal my life, making me wonder if I was the clone all along. Is it really worth it?
Cállate, flaca.
No, it's totally worth it for video games. Anyway, that's a problem for future Mika. Present Mika is much more interested in what you all have been saying about the show so far. So keep letting us know your thoughts.
Eso tampoco me interesa.
Gaming show on all platforms.
¿Qué estuvieron diciendo sobre el show? Morvin.
I mean video games. Video games.
¿Qué hacen no lavando? Esto es ¿qué? Destiny número 40. Outbreakers. Destiny 5. No, este es el Outriders, creo. Sí, Outriders. El nuevo DLC del Outriders. Juego que nunca jugué. Mamacita. Vendiendo DLC de un juego muerto, las ratas. Ah, este juego lo había visto en algún momento. Vas haciendo pociones. Y a veces les metes veneno. Mira, ahí vas regulando cómo entra. Un juego aesthetic ahí para cuando tenés un tiempito libre de relajación. Le vendés un Viagra a uno. Le pedís más guita. Está bueno, o sea, no es el tipo de juego de ustedes, digamos. No tiene un creeper que te va a explotar de atrás, pero está bueno. Tiene craft en el nombre, así que ojo. Nuevo juego de Minecraft. Sí, sí.
I get a sternly worded letter from my landlord about how my cauldron violates our lease agreement. Whatever.
Lo creo, Notch.
But more importantly, folks, we promise you the maximum amount of games humanly possible, and we aim to deliver quite literally.
Deja de poner publicidad entonces. Este es el de las mascotas Battle Royale. ¿Cómo se llama? Super Autopet, no. Super Animal Squad. Es gratis este juego. Está piolita. Sí, es Animal... ¿cómo se llama? Animal Royale. Super Animal Royale, ahí está. El Fortnite. Lo jugué el año pasado a ese juego. Dos chabones con metralleta y uno con guantes de boxeo en la misma habitación. Te pide PC Plus. Ok, es parecido al Fighting Tight Spaces este entonces. Sí, literal igualito, con cartas. No, esto es una demanda esperando suceder. Literal el fight, para que lo escribo así lo buscan y lo comparan. Fight in tight spaces. Así se escribe tight. Igualito, por turnos peleando melee en unas habitaciones todas chiquititas y con cartas. ¿Ya te encantaste todo? No, me faltó fortuna en el pico, no conseguí. Ok, esto es juego para autistas, a los que les gusta el Civilization o algo de eso. A nadie más le interesa estas cosas. ¿Tiene el héroe de fortuna? Ok. Después les compro. Maho Kenshi 2023. Blood and Gore, violencia, desnudez.
Our beautiful home. To protect it, we must reach out to explore the unknown. Our team of experts is presently probing the deep sea in a struggle against the yoke of overregulation.
Dice mientras juega Glunge. Cualquier juego con hexágonos es para autista. Voy a sostenerlo para siempre. Killing Floor, ok. DLC de Killing Floor.
And now it's time to give you an exclusive briefing on what's next for one of PC gaming's titans of modding, simulation, and scale. Arma 4.
Arma 4.
Bohemia Interactive kicked things off by releasing Arma Reforger on Steam in early access. This playable prototype will be a foundation
Simulador de guerra. Para que se vayan preparando para las guerras del agua de la Patagonia.
I mean, after all, this is the series that helped birth the survival genre through DayZ. Oh, and also this other little niche genre you may have heard of called Battle Royale to help us peer into the future for this project.
Es verdad, tenemos que agradecerle al Arma por los Battle Royale, que fueron los primeros que inventaron esa wea. Bueno, los que hicieron mods para el Arma. Tenemos que agradecerle por Fortnite, Apex, PUBG y los otros 800 cacas, incluido el Super Animal Royale que vimos recién. Estos chabones son recontra europeos, boludo. Ese espejo retrovisor, mi viejo. Ese espejo retrovisor no puedo no verlo ahora.
So there's no doubt players who have been longtime fans of the franchise stepping into Arma Reforger, and I'm curious, what were some of the big challenges of rebuilding that specific Arma feel from the ground up in this brand new engine?
Well, it's a very tricky subject because even internally it's an ongoing kind of fight. So I'm myself very much on the very purist side of things. So no HUD, no save games, no superficial helpers, and this fight can get very intense even in-house. So I'm the real Arma purist, and I'm on this for 25 years now, so I will keep fighting, but obviously this is part of the fun. So there's always never-ending battle. I think 2 years
Es yo diciendo no te pe, no te pe, no te pe.
keep it Arma and even internally preserve our own standards. So do it our own way rather than replicating what's maybe normal in other games, because our goal is not to make the same game as all other games. So our goal is to remain unique.
I'm curious if you can speak to what the main goals of Reforger is, because it's a little unusual compared to other releases. I mean, for instance, how much content should a player expect if, say, they've been playing Arma 3 for years?
Our goals were, of course, to restart the series from technological standpoint, really make room for some new achievements, utilize the technology which is state of the art, both in terms of how it looks like, how it's controlled, how it can be modded.
It's important to understand it may look as a kind of normal game on the surface, but there's a big system behind it. So just the tool suite is a massive tool suite, never tested by a large public.
No sé por qué todos los Arma tienen gráficos viejos, boludo, para mí.
Tools are being built for nearly 5 years now, so we really need users to start using them to keep improving and continue building it.
Sorry to interrupt, but we have one quick question from the Arma fans. Has Russia's invasion of Ukraine impacted your approach to Arma 4 and Arma Reforger, a game that depicts the Cold War?
Well, yes, because it's extremely close to us. We even live in a way very nearby, so definitely. On the other hand, we started work on this many years ago, so the direction was set before. But we always approach conflicts and armed conflicts with a great level of respect. We're still at the beginning, but we definitely would like to continue in our exploring this serious theme.
Arma, as I see it, has always been a bit more of a anti-war game. It's an entertainment product. That's fair thing to admit. On the other hand, given the topic, given our, let's say, maturity and long time we've spent on it, and our ambition to portray it as a whole very complex and gritty thing, I would like us to contribute by not just entertaining people, but also educating them on the subject. This was the whole point of starting the cooperation with the International Committee of the Red Cross, and I believe we have great potential, big responsibility in this.
No, viejo, nunca me va a interesar el arma. Muy poronga. Muy realista, intentando todo lento. Por favor, no.
So many amazing games and genres came from Arma mods, so I gotta know what's possible in Reforger that wasn't possible in the past.
Now with this technology, it's possible to create entirely different things, like entirely different games. It has so many variables, but the beauty now is that much more of it is user accessible, unlike the previous games. So people can easily digest how this is constructed in our workbench tools.
¿Qué pasa, Giampa, querido? ¿Estás viendo nuestro clip en TikTok, boludo? La está rompiendo de una forma. En mi vida tuve tantos likes, no paran de llegar. Ahora empezó a pumpear el otro, el que es la versión completa, mira. Me levanté, tenía como 100 views, ahora tiene 630. Pasé los 1000 seguidores, Giampa, gracias a vos.
Times of single core and no GPUs basically, so this time much more computations and
un lujazo, amigo. Mañana te hacen un baile de TikTok. El baile del tridente. Y eso que no lo edité nada porque soy malísimo, le hubiera puesto un blanco y negro, una música triste ahí al final, ¿viste? Si fuera un poquito más hábil. Filo 5, sí, amigo, es buenísimo.
Thank you so much again, Bohemia Interactive, for giving us the inside scoop on both Arma Reforger and Arma 4. Now, you don't go anywhere because here is what's around the corner.
A ver.
Just around the corner in the PC gaming
Coming
show,
up.
Prepare to experience terror ranging from the subaqueous to the subconscious with the latest from Shiro Games. Hold on to your butts because fronted development
Jurassic World 2 DLC.
Jurassic World Evolution 2 expansion, and get your crowbars ready for Half-Life Alyx Levitation, a special project from some very talented modders. Oh, modders.
Ah, modders.
Gaming be without you. While we're here, quick geography.
No, pero pará, la publicidad.
Parts of the world use the most bandwidth for gaming. Answer this question for the folks at Compass Data Centers, and it could win you a $500 Razer gift card. Scan the QR code on the screen to enter.
Last year, Shiro Games debuted War Tales at the PC Gaming Show, but the publisher has a lot more than its medieval sandbox RPG on the
Más publicidad que lo que yo. Boludo, ¿por qué siempre PC llena todo de publicidad? No hay una publicidad en Xbox. Obviamente porque son Xbox.
Hey everyone. Thank you very much for the
Qué
invitation.
putos que son los de PC.
And I can't wait to show you everything that we've
Nos dejan mal parados, loco. Nosotros no ponemos publicidad.
everyone here at Shiro Games, with Dune Spice Wars marking the most successful release in the history of the company, and it's entirely thanks to all of you. But today, let's look at Dune Spice Wars multiplayer mode.
Ah, Dune Spice.
Go head to head and free for all, 2v2, all work together
Spice
and
Wars.
AI opponents. We're introducing new synergy systems between factions that will open a vast number of strategies to help you craft.
¿Ya vieron la película de Dunk?
Multiplayer will be available in Dune Spice Wars very soon.
No le puedes decir Dune y tu logo es Dunk.
And nearly 3 million units sold, Northgard's story finally continues.
Space Age of
In a
Empires.
chapter set shortly after the events of the first campaign, Ragnarok has decimated the lands of Northgard. Long-standing alliances have been broken. Violence and betrayal now plague the continent.
No, decirle a tu mamá que es el show de PC Gaming. No te puede hacer estudiar ahora.
Heroes arrive on unknown shores and find themselves confronted by unfamiliar faces in a dangerous new realm.
Hay que ver todos los jueguitos nuevos que no vamos a poder comprar por el cambio de dólar peso argentino. Desfavoreciente.
And for all of our War Tales players out there, Cooperative is finally coming to our open world tactical RPG. You share food, gold, and camp with your friends.
Co-op para este juego, a ver.
Split up to cover more grounds. Before every fight, devise the perfect strategy to overcome any threats that may stand in your way. But be careful in your approach, as one wrong move may lead to
XCOM at home.
The co-op update will allow you to
Todos los juegos por turno eran XCOM.
players, and it will be available this summer.
¿Jugaron al Battle Brothers o algo así? Es re difícil, boludo, y está bueno. Si tienen tiempo, jueguenlo. Batalla por turnos.
A new publishing label created by indies for indies.
Yo que era en el Cubor, un huevón con una espada con un montón de píxeles pegados. No sé qué era, boludo. Jugué hace 7 años, ni me acuerdo cómo se juega eso. Solo sé que me pegaba píxeles en la espada. Lo cual era lo mejor de ese juego, honestamente.
Deep below the waves of this strange new planet.
But soon,
Recomendado este juego para los que andan buscando un juego difícil por turnos, lindo, con pocos gráficos, así que andan hasta en calculadora. Battle Brothers creo que se llama.
We found ourselves helpless. Lost.
Son como unos muñequitos que se mueven y peleas ahí, pero es re difícil. Subnáutica. A la mierda, ¿cuántos juegos hacía Shiro? Esto es Papers, Please. Regalaron el Ark. A la mierda, boludo. ¿Cómo se llamaba no, pará. Everybody Dies. Algo así. Jabo. Always Sometimes Monster se llamaba un juego parecido a esto que yo jugué. Aunque no se ponía sobrenatural así. Mierda, ¿qué es esto? Ok, horror, pixel horror. The Carnation. Está lindo.
thank you very much for sticking with us, everyone. We hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Me gustó, me gustó The Carnation. Para tener en cuenta el año que viene. Jabo Horror. 4500, esto soy famoso. Famoso por tirar tu tridente al vacío. Hay un chabón diciendo ahí que vuelve, uno de los comentarios diciendo que vuelve igual. 125 GB del ARC, a la puta, boludo. Gaviotita.
Warning. Hibernation aborted. Your total hibernation time was 6 years, 6 months, 5 days. Welcome to Eden, your new home.
Huh? I have no idea where the hell I am. But damn, this place is gorgeous.
Minecraft. I am future. ¿Qué es esto? No sé, un soy boy diciendo que esto está hermoso cuando está todo hecho pija. What the fuck? Estaba pulsudo el gusanito. Es verdad, porque es un hombre blanco y fuerte. No, autismo, Z. Sí, hay gente diciendo que si tienes lealtad 3 vuelve. Si te quedas esperando una hora más o menos hasta que toque el fondo del universo. Pero bueno, vos te mataste. Aunque para mí no vuelve, yo también tiré uno con lealtad la otra vez en el otro server.
Can be secured through strength as well as delicacy.
Will you be able to build your legacy?
Vos me mataste, te mataron los Enderman, capo. Que miraste porque te enojaste.
Join the great houses of Caldaria.
The Great Houses of ZZZ.
And now for these next trailers, it's true.
Para mí no vuelve.
They do move in herds. That was so much. The thought process is simple. God creates dinosaurs, God destroys dinosaurs, man destroys God. Man creates video games to play with dinosaurs. But just be warned that one of these trailers might come as a bit of a shock to the system.
Mandaste a los Enderman a por mí. Yo a esta mujer ya apago mi cerebro cuando empieza a hablar, así que no sé qué dijo. Comprar skip. ¿Qué es esto? Ah, Jurassic World. No, me cambiaste posta, se abrió el coso de cambiar. Me cambiaste la canción en Spotify. Jurassic World Evolution 2. Este juego es de los creadores del Elite Dangerous, Frontier. Poneme un poquito del Elite, por favor.
Humans interfacing with computers
for their own entertainment. The very notion disgusts me.
Look upon my works, foul creatures,
and weep at its magnificence. It is a beautiful day on Citadel Station.
Humanity is
on the verge of a new era.
Ok, me estás interesando. Bueno.
Look at you, hacker. A pathetic creature of meat and bone. How can you challenge?
¿Puedo espiar por las ventanas a los vecinos? Just like in real life.
Nothing.
Cyberpunk 2.
I iterate. I fuse flesh and steel into perfection. My children, hacker. Their blood is on your hands.
You will suffer for your transgressions.
These are my avenging angels, and they will have retribution.
¿Qué es esto, amigo? System Shock, amigo. Este juego tiene 800 años más o menos. Ok, un remake del System Shock.
Incredible and frankly horrifying trailer developed by
Nice.
System Shock is the return of a beloved, acclaimed sci-fi saga. Today, to take us even further inside the world of System Shock, I am thrilled to welcome the one and only Warren Spector. Thanks so much for joining us, Warren.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is going to be fun.
¿Por qué tiene censurado el logo atrás? Esas son el tipo de preguntas que me hago yo. Esta wea se cae toda, pero... Tiene un P, una swastika ahí al lado de su nombre.
It was pretty primitive back then. And the other one is the user interface. If you look at when the game opened, the original, a help screen that came up, and it filled the entire screen.
Se me cae todo el micro de mierda.
It's just insane. I don't know how.
Ahí está, mira, el System Shock 1994.
But frankly, as I think back on it, the game actually holds up pretty well. I'm excited to see it.
El 90% de los padres de ustedes no habían nacido todavía.
Are aware of the impact that System Shock has had in terms of gameplay systems, in terms of narrative structure, on so many games that came after it.
Nunca lo jugué, de más está decir. Mira, tiene el logo censurado, loco. Está tapando las coordenadas.
But also see that other games followed in its footsteps.
Nowadays, we walk around with computers in our pockets. We're worried about the evil of algorithms. How do you think about a character like Shodan in 2022?
Shodan seems far too close to reality to me right now. And let's just hope that she doesn't show up as nasty a form as she did back in 1994.
Well, Warren, I wanted to thank you so much for joining us. And I want to let you know I cannot wait to return back to that world I played and enjoyed so much as a kid. Cheers.
Yeah, I can't wait to return to that world. I forgot
right?
Basically, fans know way more about the game than I do now, so it'll be a new experience for me too.
Thank you so much again, Warren Spector, for joining us to talk all things System Shock. I personally can't wait for the game to come out, though. It might completely ruin my sleep schedule, but before I spiral further, here are some more games to cram into your eyeballs.
The Forge. Esto es Destiny o alguna poronga así. No, Destiny no tiene combate espacial.
We have but a singular purpose: to establish peace and security for all mankind.
War between Mars and Titan devastated our solar system. Lead the survivors to Demarat, where you will continue Falling Frontier storyline campaign.
Sci-fi RTS. No, Super People ahora nada que ver. Género que no entiendo los RTS. Yo quiero estar tranquilo y construir ahí de a poquito, de ir mejorando mi imperio y me llegan 500 soldados en pelota, pero que son 500. Me rompen todo, loco. No puedo jugar un RTS online. Traté con el Age, traté con el ¿cómo se llama? El StarCraft 2, jugué. Como el orto me fue en todo siempre. Este trailer ya lo vimos. El mismito. Super People es PUBG con poderes. O sea que no me gusta, porque tiene literal el mismo gameplay de mierda ese. Boludo, tuve un sueño re paja de Minecraft. No sé si contarlo ahora o cuando juegue al Minecraft después. El nombre es súper genérico de Super People, sí, es bien genérico.
Alright, gamers, good work. You've made it here to a site of grace, or a bonfire, or a sculptor's idol, or a lamp. Make sure you're staying hydrated.
Enojado, no.
Importantly,
Jamás.
letting us know what games you're excited about using hashtag PC Gaming Show. I mean,
Pero hasta ahora nada interesante. Bueno, sí, el de los clones, ese, Alters, justamente.
Feeling good. It's time to enjoy a slice of that lovely cyberpunk life, courtesy of Novalis, and experience the investigative horror of immortality, the latest from the mind of Sam Barlow.
A ver, Immortality. World Premiere.
I believe we have a short clip here. Do you want to tell us what we're about to see?
Well, I don't want to spoil things too much.
Does this work as confession?
La de World Premiere. ¿Qué es esto? A ver. ¿Cómo se llaman los juegos que tienen así cosos, video de personas? Algo de AR, no sé qué. Ese es Robert Pattinson. ¿Qué le sucedió a Marisa Marcel? Siguen siendo juegos. Es un juego donde tenés que interactuar con una película, Immortality. Interactuar con películas y descubrir algún misterio o algo, parece. Se ve interesante. El Her Story. Ah, ese es el que están ahí en la comisaría que le haces las entrevistas, sí, sí. $505. Vamos, Cyberpunk 2.
Let's clean this place up. Move some chairs and tables around. We can make this place shine.
Okay, Bar Manager Simulator, but in Cyberpunk.
We can grow some veg in the greenhouse. Once we start making real money, well, then you can rent that fancy new apartment in Midtown. So make friends.
Cyber Minecraft.
Give customers a room.
No, atendés un bar.
The old charm. Or water down their drinks. I'm not your conscience. This is a world to explore, to make stories, your stories. You ever look up at the clouds and wonder?
Yo tengo un soft spot por los juegos así, boludo. Me re gustan estos gráficos así, todo Cyberpunk, pero industrial roto, ciudad.
Welcome to
Nivales, se ve lindo. Jugué un juego parecido, o sea, con este estilo de gráficos así, todo roto, donde eras un chabón que hacía deliveries. Estaba muy bueno. Ahora si me acuerdo lo busco el nombre.
Or maybe you just want to take the day off and go fishing at the docks instead. Nivalis primarily uses voxel art for the environments. We spend lots of time creating a unique atmosphere with high levels of detail and dynamic elements.
Es como una favela cyberpunk. Casas arriba de casas arriba de casas.
And how you'll choose to live your life when you come visit us in Nivalis. You can wishlist Nivalis now on Steam and the Epic Game Store.
Mana is the game.
No, mana no, amigo.
The power back in the hands of players. So with every quest you complete and every purchase you make, you're earning for the rewards you actually want.
Hasta que te parió con tu mana balance. Death Stranding, en la conferencia de Xbox anunciaron un nuevo juego de Kojima, pero no mostraron ni una foto, me parece.
Why pay any other way?
Nuevo juego de Kojima con Xbox. El Death Stranding era con Play, si no me equivoco. Se lo van prestando a Kojima. Va, no sé, ¿salió para Xbox el Death Stranding? Para mí era exclusivo, pero no me acuerdo. World Premiere. Necrosoft. Ah, este es el Castlevania. Combate por turno. Bienvenidos a XCOM. Mira, está feo el pixelar, sí, sí. Está feíto el pixelar. Este juego es para los fanáticos de Persona y esas weas. Un RPG. RPG de putos. La capita fachera. La Sofía, no, María. Un JRPG pero hecho en Occidente. Demon School. No thank you, para mí.
You just saw Demon School from Welsh developer Isbrid Games, and now it's time to take a bit of a spooky transition. If you're at home, turn on all the lights in the room. Make sure the salt
Apaguen las
circle
luces.
is unbroken, and
Pongan el círculo de sal.
is properly painted with sacrificial lamb's blood, because things are about to get certifiably terrifying. Let's look at the H.R. Giger-inspired biopunk horror Scorn.
Scorn, este juego lo estoy esperando, boludo. Este juego lo estoy esperando.
Of macabre perception. Greetings. I'm your host, Doug Bradley, and I invite you to join me as we explore
Está todo hecho de huesos y cosas.
labyrinth of odd forms and somber tapestries. You awake in the middle of a desolate hellscape filled with biomechanical contraptions, part flesh, part machine. An industrial civilization now lying in decay and ruin. A hidden fauna sleeps within the underbelly of the world, wanting nothing more than to be left undisturbed. Scorn has been carefully crafted with great attention to detail. Everything is focused on building a specific atmosphere. From a unique organic ecosystem to an
Muy lleno de tripas.
created by Ethek and Lustmord. Scorn has no dialogue, so most of the storytelling comes from the environment, discovering the ever-present symbiotic relationships and how things are connected equips you with the tools to progress. While there is shooting within the game, Scorn is not a shooter. Every encounter must be carefully considered. A wrong choice could be deadly. I hope you've enjoyed this glimpse into the twisted world of Scorn. The team at Ebb Software can't wait for you to uncover the secrets of this unique world as you experience Scorn firsthand this October. Are you prepared?
Ideal para el Spooktober.
Inner self.
Spooktober.
Scorn's world of horror.
Muy gutsy, mucha tripa, mucho sonido de tripa entre los huesos y las máquinas.
Now, while I've been delightedly playing Dune Spice Wars, harvesting melange, and trying to figure out how to pronounce Quisatz had it doesn't matter. I'm equally ready to turn hordes of Tyranids into a Jackson Pollock painting in Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. In this brutal third-person shooter, you once again step into the oversized power armor of Titus, an elite Primaris Space Marine in a galaxy immersed in a never-ending war. To take us further inside the grimdark, I am joined by Tim Willits and Oliver Hollis.
Ahí está, mira.
On Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. First of all, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Good to be here.
Now, Tim, I want to start with you. You previously worked at id Software on Doom. How would you say the Space Marine compares to Doom Guy?
That is a good question. I bet many people did not know that the original Doom Guy was actually a Space Marine, inspired by an even older Space Marine, which is the Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine. So, you know, it's really exciting for me to work on Space Marine 2, you know, because it's a great franchise, and I know that it's inspired so many other video games throughout the last.
Nunca jugué Space Marine, boludo.
Absolutely, and there's so much lore to sift through, and I think this brings us to talk a little
No entiendo el lore, son 800 juegos distintos de distintos universos.
Oliver, talk to us a little bit about Captain Titus and what makes this class of Space Marine different from the others in the universe.
So the Space Marine is a brainchild of the Emperor, the kind of leader of this of humanity in the grimdark future. He saw the dangers that the universe presented, and he created a super soldier from his own DNA. And each of
Ahí
these
están explicando.
these different chapters have different genetic traits of the Emperor. But what makes the Primaris different is that a guy named Belisarius Cawl, the Emperor's kind of chief scientist, went back, did some digging in the old data, and found a way to enhance the qualities that a Space Marine has by installing new devices, new kind of bio implants in their body. So now these guys are 2.5 meter tall monsters.
Se ve que tenías ganas de jugar un Space, un Warhammer.
1,000 times I have rewatched the Astartes animation.
Pero no sé, hay tantas weas, boludo.
It's so exciting that we now get to be in.
Básicamente tenés que elegir tu género y rogar que esté bueno. Porque tienen de todos los géneros.
Enemy that you're going to be against, and if so, what makes them such a compelling foe?
In this particular game, the Tyranids are the main focus, and what makes them compelling is that they are extragalactic locust-like creatures. They've come in from goodness knows where, they spread like wildfire, they devour everything in their path, and they leave nothing in their wake.
So one of the great things about the Tyranids is they come in the thousands, and our proprietary engine, the Saber Swarm engine, can deliver these epic battles. Now we will have thousands of Tyranids, and you will rip and tear through them all.
I mean, that is so thrilling, because this is the sort of thing that older games couldn't even hope to do. And you're talking a little bit about combat. I know that some of the previous entries were more melee focused. What's the combat like in Space Marine 2?
So the combat in Space Marine 2 is a mix of in-your-face melee combat along with some really cool over-the-top weapons. So you know, we looked at, you know, the original Space Marine game where it had a lot of this push-forward combat, which has inspired many other video games, but that never stop, never take cover combat is integral to Space Marine 2, along with, you know, these really cool, powerful weapons. So you're either tearing up enemies in front of you, or you're blowing them away from the back of the battlefield. It's the best of both worlds.
I mean, that sounds so terrific. And I mean, I know you guys are huge fans.
Se ve bueno, pero posta no entiendo si es el primero, el segundo, el cuarto. ¿Hay alguna historia? ¿Qué tengo que hacer antes de jugarlo, digamos?
I went to the Warhammer Museum, which was an incredible experience. And you go around all these cabinets where these incredible miniatures that have been painted by these.
Boludo, cuando era chiquito tenía ganas de comprarme miniaturas así, pero para jugar. No entendía que eran para. Viste, ibas a un shopping en Buenos Aires y veías las vidrieras llenas de las miniaturas esas chiquititas. Y yo decía, qué ganas de comprarme para jugar eso. No entendía nada, el nene yo. Todas pintadas, re fachera para jugar al Total War. Yo pensaba que eran juguetes.
Even more so, when you're wielding one of those massive weapons and you're faced with 1,000 Tyranids who all want to eat you alive, and you're just letting rip and you can see shell casings bursting out.
Sí, la intro nada más. Después ya crean su propia historia con los locusts estos, con las langostas.
Well, perfect. That answers everything. Thank you so much, Tim and Oliver from Saber Interactive, for joining us. I can't wait. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 comes to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S soon. Now next, we have a few more surprises for you up the sleeves of our proverbial power armor. First, Replicant D6's homage to the golden days, or should I say, golden eyes of 90s console shooters, and an atmospheric sci-fi adventure on the Red Planet from Frontier Developments and Kyoken Interactive.
Y de paso vendeme un par de cosas, unas tarjetas gamer o algo. A ver, ¿qué es esto? GoldenEye Remake. Unirónicamente, gráficos así en 2022. Bold choice. Para la PC de Dombie. Demo disponible ahora en Steam.
Sarah? Ryan? This is Kathy. Can you hear me? Please come in.
Oh, esto es Dead Robots. Dead Love Robots. Love Dead Robots. Tercera temporada del capítulo de Marte ese.
Here we go, Opera Team. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Ya viste Loaded Robots, Lowe. Ninguno tiene Caliards, loco. Ninguna de las 3 temporadas. Así que vale la pena.
You'll make the right decisions. We can do this. What do you expect to find on Mars?
No, tenés que ver, loco. Como graphic design, eso es como pumba.
My name's Elise Chappell, and I play Kathy Johansson.
Todo lindo.
Out of this world sci-fi epic, Deliver Us Mars. Join Kathy and the crew of the Zephyr on an unmissable adventure as they journey to the Red Planet to recover technology vital to the survival of Earth and humankind. Deliver Us Mars is set to land on September 27th and is available to pre-order now on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, and the Epic Games Store.
Deliver Us Mars.
And listen. To this list of games still to come, the team behind Half-Life Alyx Levitation will put their mod where their mouth is, and then it's paradox time. Not as in us creating an actual time paradox, we're going to show you the latest from Victoria 3. Plus, you can literally scare
Gloomhaven?
butt off with the creeping horror of Gloomwood.
No, ¿qué son estos gráficos, amigo?
In just a moment, but first, a final pop quiz for all you Valorant, CSGO, and League of Legends players. How much has esports revenue increased since 2016? Compass Data Centers wants to hear your guess, and you can scan this QR code on the screen for a chance to win a $500 Razer gift card. Visit gaming.compassdatacenters.com to enter. Alright, and now, back to the show.
Up next, we're going to take a look at Stormgate, the highly anticipated real-time strategy game from Frost Giant. Then, our resident RTS addict is going to sit down with some of the game developers to ask the hard-hitting questions like, when can we play this already?
No quiero que le hagan preguntas a los RTS. Este es el juego nuevo de los que se fueron todos de StarCraft. Sí, literal, ahí está, mirá. Se fueron todos de StarCraft y hicieron un nuevo estudio. Stormgate. Están todos esperando este juego los fanáticos de StarCraft. Porque se fueron de Blizzard.
We've been fortunate to work on some of the greatest RTS games of all time, and now we have a chance to do it again by creating the next evolution of that legacy.
Encima Blizzard dijo que no iba a seguir actualizando StarCraft.
Exclusive sneak peek into the universe and game that we've been creating for you. Stormgate takes place in an all-new post-apocalyptic setting where science fiction and fantasy collide. Our story begins hundreds of years in Earth's future, following the near extinction of humanity. This great calamity was caused by the Infernal Host, a playable alien race of demonic invaders that are hell-bent on claiming this planet as their own. With our story, we are creating an ever-expanding game universe, told through an ongoing series of campaign missions that you can play solo or cooperatively. New chapters will come out regularly, along with new units, maps, modes, and plenty of other surprises. In addition to campaign missions, we're building a world-class competitive experience with grassroots and professional tournaments accessible from directly within the game. There will be different leagues suitable for all levels of experience. In our new 3-player co-op versus AI mode, you'll level up your heroes, collect rewards, and
eso me interesa.
to open up
Co-op RTS, sí.
Long-term variety. Stormgate will be free to play, but not pay to win, and there will be no NFTs. Beta testing starts next year.
Imagínate que el selling point de tu juego es que no tiene NFT, boludo. Estamos ahí ya, estamos en ese estado. Wow, no NFTs? Let's go, baby!
I'm a huge fan of real-time strategy games. StarCraft is my favorite game. I played it for 25 years. I still play it, and that's why I am so thrilled today to be talking to Frost Giant Studios. They're a group of amazing developers who have worked on literally my favorite games of all time. And we're here to talk about their brand new, free-to-play, real-time strategy game set in a post-apocalyptic Earth.
Que no veo un puto mono en mi juego dentro de 5 años.
He's the CEO and production director at Frost Giant, Tim Morton. Thanks for joining us, Tim.
Thank you so much for having me here.
I want to know about the world. I want to know about the game. Tell us, what is Stormgate?
All right, this is our first game as a new studio, and it is classic real-time strategy, but designed to be more social. We build the game in a universe that ties everything together, but provide different kinds of experiences for players who like different kinds of gameplay. So we've got cooperative campaign mode, also play open-ended co-op, but if you're somebody who really enjoys competition, we've got 1 versus 1, high skill, competitive. And those are very different ways to play in some ways, but they're also all unified by the universe, by the races, by the units. So you really get a sense for how to enjoy the game.
And I'm curious a little bit about that core gameplay, because obviously in all these modes you're going to be collecting money, building bases, building units, and so on. And I know that for you, the game feeling really good and really smooth to play is super important. Now, obviously, I come from a time where if the pathfinding is bad, we call that high skill opportunity. But I mean, how do you think about getting the controls, the motions, just the feel of the game to feel good in 2022?
Yeah, it's interesting that RTS is one of the only genres I can think of where you have to have hundreds, even thousands of units synchronized over the network and responsive in a way that high skill, like pro esports players feel good about playing the game. That's not easy. It does require custom technology. There's no engine that you buy off the shelf that does that for you. So we definitely started knowing that and having the benefit of our chief architect, James Anhalt, who did that work previously on StarCraft 2. So we've put a lot of effort into that for sure.
Qué bajón Blizzard, como se le fue toda la gente, boludo. Los de Overwatch, los de StarCraft.
It's pretty incredible how far things have come from a graphics perspective, and I think the art team is unlocked in so many ways by what Unreal provides. So we're very excited. We're still learning everything that Unreal can do for us, but even that first cinematic that we debuted, like that's done in Unreal. So the high quality graphics that you're seeing are actually coming from Unreal as an engine.
So you've talked a little bit about, for new players, making the game feel a little more approachable, a little bit more streamlined, but obviously StarCraft, real-time strategy, has this astonishingly long history as a competitive game, as an esport. And I'm curious, how is your team going to approach that?
So a lot of the emphasis around our thinking has been focused on what are things that we can add, especially around the gameplay experience? And one of those things is more seamless integration with esports. I mean, being able to sign up, participate in tournaments directly from the client in a way that gives players, even if you're not like top grandmaster, ready to take on Cyril, there's still an opportunity to be the best on your block or the best at your company or the best at your school. So we want to facilitate esports all the way from grassroots level up to the pro level directly in the client.
So, of course, in the history of RTS games, a really important component of them has always been mods. I mean, Warcraft 3, there's players that didn't even play the original game. They just did custom mode after custom mode. Does Stormgate have modding? How are you thinking about the modding community?
A number of members of the Frost Giant team actually came out of the modding community. The team as a whole is very passionate about it. From the outset, we
Tenían hockey en StarCraft 2, what the fuck? No sabía eso.
There's a lot of opportunity to
hockey, chabón.
improvements to the editing experience for RTS. We are also working on the infrastructure for people to be able to share their mods with each other. So it's really core to us as a team to enable modding, and we're absolutely working on it.
And of course, we have to end with my favorite question of all. When can we play the game and how do we play it, Tim?
So we
¿Y tiene NFTs o no?
2023. We already have a site stood up at playstormgate.com to be able to register for the beta. We have a lot of active discussion topics on our subreddit as well, so there's an opportunity to participate in the dialogue around what we're building.
Tim, thank you so much for joining us again today. We just got a chance to talk about Stormgate, the upcoming free-to-play RTS from Frost Giant Studios. I'm personally super pumped to play it, and be sure to check it out at playstormgate.com. Now, Tim, I'm going to do a transition to the next game. Are you ready? This is going to be good. Watch this. It's going to be so sick.
De eso no jugué ni
Next,
uno.
we're going to show you
Yo jugué el 2 un poco con mi ex que le gustaban, pero horrible me va siempre, boludo. Yo tratando de descubrir las tecnologías y viene gente y me remata todos los peones eso de mierda y pierdo. Y yo tipo, pará, flaco, vos me venís a invadir si estamos jugando despacito. Quiero tomarme mi tiempo. Pero bueno, este decía que tenía co-op y historia y no sé qué, capaz que lo pruebo, como para sacarme las ganas. Y además la parte más importante es que no tenía NFTs, que era un selling point importante. Claramente. A ver, ¿este tiene NFT o no? Si no, no lo quiero jugar. Ok, juego de arruinar la naturaleza. La avalancha. Hola, mi PC no soporta juegos hace 10 años. Este es el Mountain, pero ahora creas una civilización en ella. Leizara, Summit Kingdom. Ok. Interesante, ponele. No te preocupes que hay juego para todas las PC acá. Estos gráficos de Fortnite medio plastilina que se pusieron de moda ahora también. No me terminan de convencer. Ah, el que quería jugar era el de Ubisoft, ese de los dioses. ¿Cómo poronga se llamaba? Tenía de nuevo ese también, nunca lo pude probar. No sé si ya lo habrán pirateado. Se veía bonito. Y le dieron buenas críticas. Ah, ¿cómo era? Phoenix of the Doom, no sé. Frozen Flame. No se ve bonito, se ve genérico.
That was Frozen Flame, an open-world survival RPG from Dreamside Interactive, where you'll embark on a fantasy adventure in a world reshaped by a magical calamity. A cursed land full of environmental hazards and massive monsters doesn't sound like the kind of place you'd want to build a cozy home with your friends, but instead you'll be raising fortresses and trying to tame the world, eventually growing tough enough to tackle the citadel that looms over everything and break the curse. Or you'll end up in the belly of a monster. Still kind of cozy. The demo for Frozen Flame was released just before the show, so you can jump in or grab some.
Ok, hay demo de ese juego que acabamos de ver, Frozen Flame.
And keep an eye out for the early access launch later this year.
Phoenix Suns es un equipo de baloncesto. World Premiere. A ver. Phoenix Rising, no sé cómo se llama el juego de Ubisoft. No. Ok, pará, capaz que sí. Me asusté, pensé que era Civ 7.
In Victoria 3, we simulate this era. 100 years, starting in 1836, and put you in charge of a young society.
¿Qué es esto? México.
You will meet the people,
Pará, necesito ver al mexicano de vuelta.
high and low, over cultures across the globe. They
¿Puedo ver al mexicano de vuelta?
put you in charge of a young society.
Ojo, presidente de oligarchi. No se ve muy mexicano.
Decide where you want to go, but your economy, how far you'll come. Taxes.
No tiene un sombrero gigante y un taquito en una mano.
Play these cards right, and you can harness the Industrial Revolution to turn your cities into titans. This is the engine you will need.
Me engañaron, sí es el Civ.
Use pacts, threats, and
El Europa Universalis, eso.
secure your place in the sun. Anything done by war can be achieved with diplomacy, but you can decide when push comes to shove. Here you write the stories, and over time, the history of your world will be carved into the map. What will your society be like? What is the sound that will echo over continents and be heard over the noise of time as you create your grand tomorrow?
No, Paradox. No me gusta tu juego. Hace rápido el XCOM 4.
That was the gameplay debut of Victoria 3 from Paradox Interactive, a grand strategy game coming later this year. And let us take this moment to let
No puedo jugar a eso yo. Wishlist ahora.
event page on Steam, where you'll be able to find every game featured in today's show. Type pcgamer.com/wishlist into your browser to be taken straight
Posta, qué
there.
conferencia
And now
happy,
on to the show.
A ver. No veo uno que yo me quede tipo, esto lo tengo que jugar. Ok, New Blood. New Blood está bueno. Esto es de Devolver Digital, está bien. Estos publishers están rompiéndola, loco. Están sacando altos juegos. Unirónicamente Pixels. What? Sí, está el ARC gratis. Ahí nos contó el Lowe.
Now, what you just saw was everything New Blood's got going on for 2022. A Medieval to Black Labyrinth, Ultra Kill Act 2, Faith, Fallen Aces, and a brand new update for Dusk that's bringing all new HD models and weapons.
Todos juegos viejos, Matt. Juegos nuevos viejos.
Now, last year you might have noticed we teased a bunch of games here that we weren't ready to talk about just yet. And we're still not ready to talk about those games. But I want to let you know that yes, we're still working on a top-down shooter. Yes, we're still working on a Fallout-style RPG, my dream game. And yes, we're still working on a car combat game. But we're not ready to talk about those games just yet. What I want to talk about is Gloomwood. Now, 2 years ago, y'all straight up forgot to show the Gloomwood trailer. Last year, you bumped me so Gabe Newell could talk about a bunch of demos or some shit. This year, PC Gamer, you promised we would get to show Gloomwood, so I don't want to hear any bullshit. If you're on a Steam Deck ad right now or some shit, I'm gonna...
Steam. Powerful, portable, PC gaming.
PC Gamer, you see this puppy? I will drown this puppy. I will. If you don't let us show Gloomwood, I am going to drown this adorable. I would never do that. Hi, I love you. So yeah, we can?
Nice.
No. Can we show Gloomwood? Are you sure? Well, all right. It's about time.
A ver, Gloomwood, juego que no pueden mostrar el tráiler hace 2 años. Literal parece que hacen todos los juegos en un motor gráfico de los 90 los chabones esto. Opa, Resident Evil, Inventory Tetris.
The townsfolk are not fond of outsiders. Don't delay.
Ok. No sé, loco, yo la verdad que ya no puedo jugar este tipo de juego con estos gráficos. Yo sé que hay toda una generación de gente a la que le encantan los gráficos ese. A mí la verdad que no me gustan ya, loco. No puedo.
There's only one thing I like more than playing New Bloods games, and that's probably the URLs they make for them. It wouldn't be a PC gaming show without the silliest, most ridiculous website names in human history. Which is why I'm delighted to share that next, we have a group of such games that run the gamut from medieval mayhem to an adorable animal fight club. And our first rule, we absolutely plan to talk about it.
A ver. Juega puro gráfico. Sí, pero a la fuerza. Pero no sé, esos gráficos de los años 90 que la gente está nostálgica, a mí no me llaman para nada, loco. Esos low poly. Los buenos low poly. Prefiero algo así. No, mentira, está re feo esto.
Corrupted what? Why is it always doing this just when I need to showcase the game? Okay, I'm gonna take that. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Yes, I have.
The update to system
Hijo de puta, la pantalla blanca me quiere dejar ciego.
Oh, no, nobody's updating me. That's the thing. Nope, haha, thank you, but we'll pass. Okay, so I do have a backup of the trailer. While I go rummage into the bin for it, please welcome my personal assistant. That will do a great job at pitching the game for you. Talk about how cool I am in the story and how funny and witty. You know, just talk about me.
Sistema operativo que no se quiere actualizar, como el teléfono que me prestaron.
Found it. Ah, ladies and gentlemen, the trailer. Okay, who had the amazing idea to save the trailer backup in 14.4 pixels? Do we have any ants working for us?
Ese fue el trailer, hijo de puta. Quería ver de qué era tu juego. Ojo. Prison Architect. Ringworld. Qué buen juego el Ringworld, amigo. Epa, no puedo mostrar. La tóxica. Ok, se ve bonito. Norland. Se ve bonito, se ve como un Ring World, ¿viste? Generan historias a partir de momentos random. ¿Qué es esta pija? ¿Qué es esta pija? ¿Qué es este bait para furries? Menos mal que no está William acá en el chat. Fanático de My Little Pony. ¿Por qué hay un juego de pelea de bronis, boludo? Them Fighting Hearts DLC, o sea que quiere decir que ya salió el juego. Menos mal que nunca lo vi. ¿Qué es esto? Esto se ve lindo. Esto se ve muy lindo, ¿ves? Este es mi tipo de juego. Otro Stardew Valley, pero ahora en una isla. No, pero mirá qué lindo que está, what? Qué buen pixel art, loco. Tiene multiplayer también, se viene server de esto, ¿eh? ¿Qué es esto? El Core Keeper, what? Ese lo tengo bajado literalmente. Lo bajé para jugarlo con... literal para hacer un server. Mirá. Core Keeper. Lo había bajado para hacer un server de eso. No sabía que era tan bonito. Más ganas me dieron de hacer un server de Core Keeper.
When our crops failed, the ruling class would still collect the same share, leaving our children to starve.
Venezuela, the video game.
Demanding it for the crown. The nobles hid behind the safety of their walls.
Ahí está Maduro.
When raiders pillaged the outskirts of the city. And so, some of us decided that it was time to leave.
Venezuela Simulator 2022.
Promise of a new land, than starve to death in our homeland. The journey wasn't easy. We lost many along the way. But this wild, unsettled land offers us the hope of a new start as the masters of our own destiny.
Che, qué bueno que se ve el Core Keeper, loco. Ahora en 3 días sale ese DLC. Vamos a ver si lo puedo piratear y hacemos un server pirata. Ya fue, boludo. Farthest Frontier, me quedó re gustando. No sabía que se veía tan lindo. Oregon Trail 2. ¿Y estufa?
What is below is destined to be understood. Our life depends on the whims of the weather. Our life is tied to this earth.
The water we harvest, the plants we grow, the air we filter.
Any waste would be fatal to our survival.
We must learn to live in harmony with this world. For too long, we have wandered without purpose. From now on, our city will be a source of hope.
Ah, es el Simpson Hit and Run, ese no, ¿cómo se llama el de teléfono? Resource Manager, no me jodan con este tipo de juego, basta. No quiero managear recursos.
To understand our world, we must explore it.
We must find the tablets, the seeds of knowledge that bind all the elements together.
To build our survival.
To build our city. To live happily.
Synergy. Interesantes gráficos. Medio estudio Ghibli at home.
Welcome to Icarus, Prospector. The planet we almost lost, then found a reason to stay. Take it from me. This place wants you dead. But we've made progress. Learned the lay of the land. How to use Icarus to our advantage.
Ark at home.
Our friends at the UDA are offering up a slice, a whole new terrain. If you learn, build, and survive, maybe, just maybe, there's a future.
Creo que lo vi a este juego. Caes en unos pods y empezás a hacerte un arco y una armadura de cuero cuando caes en una nave espacial. Lo estaba jugando un grupo de youtubers que miro. Podés cavar en la piedra, sí, Ícaro. Podés cavar en la piedra y hacerte un refugio de la piedra, dentro de la piedra. Estaba interesante.
In the rich tapestry of the PC gaming community, modders are one of the most inspiring subcultures. In fact, some of the most popular genres today started as PC gaming mods. Right now, modders Sean FMP1 Snelling and Corey Latto are making something incredibly special in the form of an ambitious mod for Half-Life Alyx. It's called Levitation. It's an original 4 to 5 hour campaign that builds on Valve's original VR game, Half-Life Alyx. With Alyx searching for a pair of rebels gone rogue, they've discovered a strange floating building in Sector X and decided to investigate it, against orders, obviously, and now it's your turn. Let's go back to the world of Gordon, G-Man, and Alyx with this exclusive gameplay footage.
Interesante. ¿Ves? Para juegos como esto quiero un VR, loco. Encima tengo espacio ahora que moví todo en la habitación. No sé, Me voy a quedar en deuda hasta la muerte, pero... Además nunca sé qué compraría porque salen versiones nuevas todos los días casi ahora. El pollo. El facehugger.
Alyx, I'm detecting an incredibly large energy signature up ahead. It's probably Gordon Freeman, and not anything bad at all. Definitely, probably Gordon Freeman.
Okay, so the plan is to get to that control room and get going. Oh boy. Crowded down here, Russ.
Si esto es todo en VR, está tremendo, loco. O sea, no, es el sueño del pibe gamer, estar en un mundo VR fachero metido ahí disparando. ¿Quién no soñó con estas weas? Pero no sé, se ve medio scripteado, pero bueno, no sé. Tipo se apoya ahí en la cosita. ¿Por qué se va a apoyar? Si no existe eso. Te llega a apoyar, te cae de cabeza en la vida real cuando si te apoyas en algo virtual. Igual no vi gameplay del Half-Life Alyx, no sé qué tan VR es. Hace unos años todos los VR eran estar parado nomás porque te mareabas, no sé cómo era el problema con la tecnología. Pero creo que mejoraron eso bastante. Que te tenías que ir desplazando ahí dando saltos virtuales para no vomitarte todo encima. Ay, amiga, en el baño. Apa.
Oh, nice.
Ah, eso está re bueno, boludo. Desarmar trampas en 3D. No, está muy buena la tecnología de mierda esta, aunque sea re gimmick. Yo pensé que se me iba a pasar las ganas, pero cuanto más mierda como esta veo, más ganas me da de ahorrar y comprarme uno buenardo, no sé. Algunos sin cable si es posible.
Cells left.
Levitation. Minecraft 2.
This is the end.
No.
We've learned a lot today.
Bueno.
About ourselves, about computers.
¿Cuánto duró esa
about
wea?
genetically engineered space marines. And with so many games
2
on the way,
horitas.
there has truly never been a better time to be part of the PC gaming community.
Over the course of the last 2 hours, we saw games from developers all over the world, and we wanted to thank everyone who tuned in to watch the show. All the developers who shared their work with us, and of course, all of the partners for their help bringing the PC
Y
gaming
todas las
show to
propagandas. Muchas gracias.
Remember to tip your servers, install your firmware updates, and tell me if you know where to find a 3090 Ti. Tell me immediately. Anywhere you can find one, let me know. And of course, a warm thanks to you again for joining us at this year's PC Gaming Show. It's something I look forward to every year, and we're thrilled that you joined us again. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Interesante. Thank you for watching.
This is the official PC Gaming Show 2022 pre-show. It's the live show before the
E3
pre-recorded show. Go to the start. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Replenish your potions and motion. Let's do it again. This is the first time. But before I spiral further into my concerns, here's even more.
De Frozen Flame hay una demo ahora, dijeron. Cállate, no me importa más. De Frozen Flame tenemos demo. Porque hay un juego de Brony, el Core Keeper. Vamos a hacer server, ya me cansé. Se ve re lindo. Así que haremos server. ¿Qué más mostraron interesante? El de Nivalis, que manejas un bar cyberpunk, eso me gusta a mí, nada más. El del tráiler de la película estaba ok, ponele. Killing Floor no me interesa, Arma 4 no. Potion Crafts, el Alters, este juego lo voy a estar esperando, loco, se veía... Va, quiero ver de qué es el gameplay. La premisa se ve muy buena, el gameplay, no sé. Y a ver qué mostraron los de Xbox, que no lo vi. Starfield. Un title project donde apareció la cara de Kojima por 2 segundos nada más. Ese estuvo, un title project. Yo empecé a ver acá en Sea of Thieves que van a llevar el Persona también para Play, para Xbox digo. Yo empecé a ver acá y recién estaba viéndolo y llegué. Me falta ver bastante, hasta el Overwatch 2 llegué, me falta ver todo esto ahora, voy a ver todo esto después. Interesante, loco. Y esto los vimos ayer. El Pokémon at Home. El Palworld. El buen Palworld. Alto juego. ¿Sigue algo ahora? ¿De la gente esta de IGN? ¿O terminó la chingada? Me parece que terminamos, ¿no? No veo que hayan empezado otro stream distinto. Que generalmente empiezan otro. Bueno. Me da la chota. Más tarde capaz que hago stream de, no sé, de Minecraft supongo. I guess. Voy a ver cómo hago un servidor de Core World. Me voy a poner a investigar eso. Y bueno, Don me compró Cube World para el finde. Ah no, Core Keeper se llama. Y Don me compró Cube World para el finde, así que voy a ver cómo consigo un server de eso también, que es gratis. A ver qué onda, si podemos jugar. Un toque. Por lo pronto, me voy a la Jota. Y nos vemos el año que viene en el Game World Awards. No, mentira, fin de año.